4-game win streak. Kirk Cousins, always great to see you. Maybe, and slow news day for you, lots of topics to start with, but there's not a team in the NFL that missed the playoffs that I'm more devastated, upset, distant. Like I wanted y'all in it so bad. I would like to congratulate you on the nice finish, 4-game win streak, like I said. Incredible run. What did you learn about this team, about yourself during the end of the season?
Yeah, when we got officially out of the playoff contention in early December, we were asked the question a lot, are you concerned about guys giving up or the effort not being there? And I really wasn't. And when you answer it that way, it's hard to know whether people will believe you or not. But you could see as the season went on that guys still played at a high level, worked at a high level, coaches did a great job. And so, I was proud of the way we finished strong. We were able to win the last four, and there was no let up. And it was a reflection of the character of the group.
Weeks 15 to 18. You, by the way, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Listen, Kirk, 14 years in as a journalist, it's my obligation to say, how much longer are you going to play and pass you the mic? And I just, in our production meeting about talking to you, it did not even hit my radar because of the way that you have played. You have it. You ended the season 298 passing touchdowns, 2 away, all time away from John Elway. What does that feel like? That would be 15th all time to throw for 300.
Yeah, it's it's certainly a privilege to even you're kind of the surprise that you may have here, and that is the same surprise I have. So it's been quite a journey, and I think it's a great reminder of how you just keep going one day at a time, and you just never quite know how far it can go. But yeah, I'm excited. We'll kind of see where it goes from here. It kind of stuff gets settled more in the combine, March, April, that timeline. And so because it's still early January, it's kind of a who knows. And so this time as players, we just kind of all go our separate ways and just kind of wait until those conversations start to materialize later in the spring.
Can't be an easy day, of course. The day following the season, the team parts ways with Raheem Morris and Terry. Those 10 years come to an end. I want to ask you, and unfortunately, you're not a rookie in coaching GM changes in your career. What's your role as a veteran, as a great guy, as a leader, which you are and you always have been? What's your role on a day like this when these shifts happen?
Yeah, it's difficult for everybody. You certainly, just disappointed with the outcome not being what we all wanted, that you're not getting ready for a game this week. And so it's a tough day when you're packing up your locker. And the way this league is set up, only one team really gets that happy day to pack up their locker. The rest of us, either whether it's today or over the next few weeks, we all have to kind of do it in a way that's disappointing. But it's hard. There's so many great people, from coaching staff, management, but also the equipment room and training room. When you pack everything up and you say goodbye for the end of the season, it's always tough because you've been seeing everybody every day for 6 months and you do everything together, and then suddenly it just has an abrupt end. And that's one of the downsides of our business, but you have to kind of roll with the punches and keep going.
What does it change for you? Because obviously you're like, yeah, I'd love to. I heard you yesterday. I'd love to be back there, but we have to figure with not, if my friend, 2 people that worked, I don't know if it's above her or with her, lost their jobs, my instant reaction as a human is, are you okay? How's that? What does that mean for you? So what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's this pro sports life is full of unknowns. It has been for a long time for all of us, and I think where we find ourselves there again as we kind of finish this season and look forward, you just don't know. You don't know where it's headed, and I guess in some ways now, being that it's been 14 years, and even when you count the college years too, you kind of just becomes almost normal, the unknown, and you just kind of learn to hold things loosely and to move forward with an open mind and open to anything that could happen, and be ready to try to hit curveballs, and we'll see where it goes from here. But certainly felt like the last 2-3 years, going back to when I tore my Achilles, there have been some curveballs, and you just have to kind of keep going forward the best you can.
I really don't think, I know that you don't care about this. I don't think you get enough credit for how you have handled what you were calling very nicely curveballs in your things that you could control, couldn't be me. But it's very inspiring how you've handled everything. You're wrapping this year 14. I'm sure your mind is nostalgia, the future, all of that all at once. You step in after the Penix injury, you help the team end the season on this high note. I'm sure, obviously you're clean, the black bags come out, you're cleaning your locker, that's bad, but there is some hope going into 2026. When I think about you, I would love to know, like, what is the priority? What is the most important thing to Kirk Cousins at this point in your career?
Just have a joy about what you do, and certainly winning is a big part of that. It's no fun to lose, but who you do it with is a big deal, and so the people you're around every day matters. And I think if you feel like you're working with great people and you have a great chance to go win, I think that those two things really supersede anything else.
Is that Atlanta?
Well, I think time will tell. It certainly can be, and we'll see kind of where it goes.
You know what I'd love to see?
What's that?
I would like to see a little you and Kevin Stefanski getting back together.
The band back together.
You tell me. What are your thoughts on that?
We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I think that's the fact. It's just there's so many unknowns, and at this point, there's probably more up in the air, than there will be at any other time during this off season.
I have a knack for making these things, willing things into existence. You can call it prayer. You can call it what. Like, when's the last time you talked to Kevin? You sent him a text?
Yeah, I probably texted with him this off season at some point. And it could have been about an inside joke from something from 6-7 years ago. But honestly, I've been with so many coaches and so many staffs that there'll be any number of guys I'll text just randomly about something even unrelated to football, just because of our shared history. And now some of my old teammates have become coaches. So now I'm texting coaches who I view as teammates, not as coaches. But life goes on. I guess when you play long enough, when you're blessed to play long enough, it's fun to kind of have all these connections around the league that when I was a young player, just I didn't have.
I know. I was looking at the playoff picture this morning, knowing I was getting some time with you, and thank you. But your paws are all over this coaching vibe of these teams. You've had a piece of everybody. Obviously the McVay tree, all of that. Like, what is that? When you look at that must be amazing. I mean, you literally are connected to like the entire slate.
Well, no, I feel fortunate to have been able to get drafted by Washington and just enter into a coaching staff, being coached by Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay. Chris Furster was our O-line coach, who does a great job in San Francisco now. And then Mike Shanahan, being the head coach of it all. Even defensive coaches I've had through the years that I've been able to build relationships with and have so much respect for, practicing against them every day. Now I have to prepare to go against them in the real thing. But you just collect these relationships and build these connections with people, and you try to win their respect as you go about your business every day. And likewise, they win your respect. And so it's fun to kind of build that, and you kind of build this equity too, of just getting to know people and who you have a lot of respect for in this league. And they kind of earn that every day with what you observe as you're working with them.
Your priority is winning, the people you work with, it sounds like culture is important to you. Where in that do you slot in being a starting quarterback, which we all know you are and should be?
Well, I think I want to play, so I don't know if you want to call it a starter or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, the chance to get out there on the field and play and compete and lead is what I think we all want. But, we'll kind of see where everything is when the dust settles.
You're here with Great Clips, which we love. Tell me about what you're doing with them.
Yeah, so, it kind of all started because I've been going to Great Clips for years. I would always walk into quarterback meetings and they say, "Oh, you got a haircut." And I would say, "Yeah, Great Clips." And people would always laugh, thinking that I must have some personal salon stylist who comes to my house. And I said, "Well, no, I just do Great Clips." And I love it. Works really well. And they get to know me. And so anyways, one thing led to the next. And now we've been able to kind of turn that organic relationship into being able to promote the brand. And so they're partnered with the College Football Playoff. And I'm a big fan of college football. And so it's a great fit. Big fan of Great Clips, big fan of college football. And they've got the $9.99 haircut coupon right now.
I mean, come on.
Website, greatclips.com/football. You can get your $9.99 haircut coupon during the College Football Playoff. So go get your haircut at Great Clips like I do, and look good for the when you're watching the playoffs later this week.
We're going to play a quick game before you go. Since you're with Great Clips, it's keep or clip. Would you keep or clip Seattle having the best defense in the playoffs?
That's a great one. I'm gonna keep that.
I knew you were going to say that. They were tough.
Yeah, played against them recently, early December. Thought they did a great job against us. Played against them last year as well. Same scheme. Thought they did a great job against us. A lot of first round picks on the D line. And Mike McDonald does a great job with the scheme. I think they're the real deal.
Harrison Smith, Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer, keeper clip.
I love that question. That's a keep. Statistically, at the safety position, I believe his
Oh,
sacks, his interceptions, it's hard to keep stats for a safety, but from what I understand, sacks and picks and just years and longevity and health, I feel like he stacks up with a lot of safeties who are in the Hall of Fame. So I say keep, and I think that we shouldn't punish a guy for not playing in a Super Bowl. Sometimes there are Hall of Fame players on teams that may not have put it all together and won a Super Bowl or had long playoff runs year after year after year. Doesn't mean that individual player isn't a Hall of Famer. So I say keep, and let's get him a gold jacket.
did you see that he was asking KOC to let him throw the ball
I didn't see that, but that's awesome.
to end the game, and KOC wouldn't do it for him. He wouldn't let him. Have you ever seen Harrison throw the ball?
I believe he's a lefty,
Love,
and
love that. Love that.
and if I had been the head coach, I might have been tempted to do something stupid and put him out there.
Did you see that the Steelers blessed the field with holy water?
I did. I was watching Sunday Night Football and I saw
Keeper
that.
clip, little angels in the outfield
Well, I
action.
mean, yeah, I mean, if the kick's going to be missed in that end zone, then and it's going to be pulled that way where the guy was, then maybe we need to keep that.
Matthew Stafford MVP, keeper clip.
I think that's a keep. I mean, with the way he finished yesterday, I mean, I would think he did enough to be the MVP. But I'd also like to see Bijan Robinson as Offensive Player of the Year. So
Let's
that's
go.
the one I'm going to campaign for here between now and NFL honors.
Can I hear that campaign before you go so we can take a little off the
Yeah,
top?
I think 2,300 yards from scrimmage. I played with Justin Jefferson. He won Offensive Player of the Year and had 1,800 yards receiving. That was impressive. I also was able to hand off to Bijan and throw to him 2,300 yards from scrimmage. Having played with an Offensive Player of the Year before in Justin, I'm saying from experience, what Bijan did this year deserves the award. And when this ball's in his hands, I mean, he is special.
And so is the Great Clips return of the nationwide $9.99 haircut. There's a coupon. That means you out there watching have to go do something. You like the college playoffs, you like getting your haircut, looking fresh, great. You can claim it. It's a $9.99 haircut coupon by visiting greatclips.com/football, and it ends January 16th. So do it. Thank you so much, Kirk. Enjoy your off season, and can't wait to see which Great Clips you'll be frequenting next year.
I'll be all over, but great to catch up, and maybe we'll see you at Super Bowl week.